game otherwise. I think because it don't come on TV though.
Yeah, we don't really get to see the follow-up games.
When I saw him on the yard, it took me straight back to the day I came in.
I've never seen him before.
I ain't seen him far. I think you coming?
No mates, no idea what was happening. You don't know anything.
Hello, mate. How are you? My name's Jim.
That your PIN credit for phone call comes in your canteen, or how to get tobacco, or how to book a visit.
You just come in?
Last night.
Now I know there are people here to help you find those things out, insiders and other wing reps. But back then, I didn't have a clue. When I first got in, everything was a blur. It was like it was all a bad dream or something.
This way, Mr. Taylor?
I went through the induction and all that, but I couldn't get my head around the reality that I was in prison.
When you first come into prison, you feel scared, you feel lost, you feel alone.
It is quite a daunting place. You don't really know what to expect because you've never been in prison before.
Stand on that white patch there, and then look into that camera there.
I was scared when I first come in here because you've got all the barbed wire, you've got the gates, the locks, the keys, everything like that. Don't be scared.
Can you just confirm your name?
When you first come through reception, there's a nurse there. If you've got any problems, talk to that nurse.
Would you like to come with me?
The thing I remember more than anything is the sounds. The doors, the keys, just the noise. It was really intimidating at first. I was scared of the place, confused, nervous. I bet everyone feels the same the first time. Then they searched me. Gave me clothes. I got a £3 PIN credit for a quick call and a first night pack.
Either you can have a smoker's pack or a non-smoker's pack. Once you've had that, then you have to wait 7 days for your canteen.
Canteen is like the prison shop, and it can help make life here a little bit better.
You can get tobacco, buy toiletries, buy food, put phone credit on your phone. It comes once a week, depending on what wing you're on.
When you get your first canteen sheet, that's when you can order your tobacco, and they take that money out of your spends.
You can get money sent in by postal order, so it's recommended that on the front of the postal order you make it payable to HM Prison Services, and then on the back of the postal order put your name and number because it then personalises it to you.
Most people spend their first night on the reception wing. Some go to the special drug and alcohol wing. My cellmate had been in Brixton before. He told me don't borrow or lend, as that can lead to bullying. Try to make your canteen last, and try and get enhanced as soon as possible.
When people first come into the prison, they're classed as standard prisoners, and after 6 to 8 weeks of good behaviour and making the most of their sentence, they can go up to enhanced status, which means they get more benefits. They get an extra visit a month that could be on a Sunday for 2 hours, and they can buy more things for their cells.
You can order the duvets, you're allowed more clothes, you can have extra pair of trainers, you can buy more canteen.
If they mess about, then they go straight down from standard to basic, where they get less time out of their cells, they get less money to spend, their visits get shortened. It's good to go to enhanced, so you get a lot more benefits, it makes life easier.
It took a little while for things to really sink in, that I wouldn't be seeing my missus or family for a while. I felt like I'd really let them down. I was so angry at myself, and it's hard to know how to cope when you're just banged up all the time. But then one of the guys on the wing asked me what's wrong.
Hello, mate. You're new here, mate. Is that your picture?
I felt like he really wanted to know, like he understood.
Is that your family, mate?
He told me about listeners. They're inmates just like you and me. They've been trained by the Samaritans to listen to your problems. They're available 24 hours a day, or if you don't want to speak to them, you can ask for the Samaritans' phone. Anyway, this guy said if I ever needed help like that, or if there was an emergency, I should ring my cell bell. So that's what I did. The officer came to get me and took me straight to a listener.
The listener scheme at Brixton is basically Samaritans have trained inmates to their standard to listen to your problems. Everything that's mentioned to the listeners is confidential. They're not there to give advice or to tell you how you should live your life or anything.
I was a bit nervous at first, but because he was a prisoner too, I knew he could relate.
People ask to see listeners for a variety of different reasons. Sometimes just because they're stressed or they're angry, or they might just want to get it off their chest and just go down and rant and rave at someone for a little while, and then it might make them feel a bit better.
Well, I was in myself and I was talking.
Whatever you say to a listener stays with a listener, so it's completely confidential.
We talked about loads of things: my drug and alcohol use, my relationships on the out, my feelings about being here. It was like a weight lifted off my mind. Simon introduced me to Danny. He's a healthcare rep. There's reps for all sorts of things in here: help with housing, listening, education.
So I heard you wanted to see someone from healthcare.
Yeah.
I told him about my anxiety and the depression I've been feeling.
That's what I'm here for.
He said there were doctors in Brixton who could help with that. All we had to do was fill in a form. I told him that I had a little problem with reading and writing. He said, don't worry, it's really common, and that he would help me.
You fill out an application, hand it into a nurse or a healthcare rep, and then a few days later you should get a slip saying when your appointment will be.
There's no problem in going to someone to say, look, excuse me, please can you help me do this? That's what we're there for. Ask us for that help, that's what we're there for. It's our job to help you.
The people in healthcare are great. They can refer you on to lots of different services, both inside the prison and on the out.
We have a variety of services available in Brixton Prison. We have our GP surgery, primary care, nurses. We have mental health services, which is the outreach team, primary care, mental health. We've got the X-ray guy, we've got the opticians, the dentists. We have the integrated drug teams. They're exactly the same as you would expect in the community.
Since I've been here, I've realised I'm not alone. There's loads of people with problems around drugs and alcohol.
We have a high percentage of people that have drug and alcohol problems when they come in, and we do have services available.
Hello, have a seat.
There's a team of nurses that will assess them. We have a specialist doctor, substance misuse, and the GPs, and together everybody will make sure that they're comfortable and getting the right medication they need.
When people first come into the prison, they see a doctor who basically gives them some medication. They just give them sleeping tablets and painkillers and something to stop stomach cramps. And then the next day they'll get methadone or Subutex. If they're on a maintenance script on that out, then they can continue that with that in here.
So that we can get you off of the alcohol.
And if you want to stop using, there is support here to help you. Counselling, thinking skills courses, AA, NA. The integrated drug treatment services can even help you find support after release.
There's all sorts of support in Brixton Prison for people that are taking drugs, but it's down to the individual. If they want the help to come off drugs, then they can get it.
And we'll refer you to our substance misuse team as well. Okay.
I reckon it's really important to talk about your problems. It's just bottling it up only makes things worse, and that makes it harder to cope. I found primary care mental health really useful in my first few days in jail.
They'll be there always on the first night. They're always approachable with any of your concerns to do with your health or your mental state of mind.
We offer people support around their problems with mild to moderate depression, anxieties, phobias, OCD, and we help people in those initial days of being in prison, particularly first time in prison. Often it can just be sort of practical, talking therapies.
They can help you deal with the feelings that might come up as you get into your sentence or as the detox progresses.
To maintain their psychological and physical health, I think it's important to provide a holistic care really for them so that they're talking about their problems, getting involved in activities like education, gym, work, and eating healthily and generally sort of looking after themselves.
Once I started making a few friends, I got into the routine of prison life. It helped that I knew there was always someone to turn to if I had any problem. It took me a while to figure things out, to find out about visits, canteen and phone calls, the things that make life in here a little bit better.
If you've been remanded, your family or friends, whoever's going to come to visit you, they can just ring up the jail and they can book a visit that way because you're on remand. If you're sentenced or you've been JR'd, which you've pleaded guilty, so then you're JR'd, so you have to use VOs. You can book the visits internally, like you can book it from the inside, but you still have to send the VO out to your family.
It's very important that people do have contact with their families, and we know that it's one of the big protective factors that keep people sort of safe in prison.
To me, my visits are very important. We're a close-knit family, so to see my family once a week in here, I feel privileged.
I got involved in education, got a job on a wing, and in no time I was a healthcare rep myself. I make the most of the opportunities to keep myself physically and mentally healthy, play sport, use the gym. It really helps. It's not great in here, but you know, life's what you make it.
When people first come into the prison, they do spend a lot of time behind their doors, but I recommend to people to make themselves as busy as possible by either just watching TV or go to the library and get books or write letters. Just do anything. Just don't sit in your cell and leave your TV off and just think, because it messes your head up.
Stay away from the troublemakers, stay away from drugs. Keep yourself to yourself. If you've got a good few friends in the jail, stick with them. Don't go floating, don't be involved with all this mobile phone business, the drugs and stuff like that. It's not worth it, because you get caught with mobile phone, you're getting extra days on your sentence. You get caught with drugs, you're getting losses, or basically everything. And you keep going down that road, and they'll have you out, no doubt about it.
So one day, when I was out on exercise with the boys, I spotted a newbie all alone. He kind of reminded me of myself. Anyway, I went to say hello, and it turned out he was pretty stressed out. I could relate, trust me. So I let him know about a few of the services we have here in Brixton. That seemed to help. And it was the least I could do, you know. After all, we need to help each other out. And if people don't know what's available and how to access it, then it can seem like you're all alone, when actually, you don't have to be.
It's good to talk to people about how you're feeling, because you can't deal with your feelings if you just keep them locked up inside. Make the most of your time, make the full use of the people that are there to help you, because there are a lot of people that can help you now, and I just urge you to make the use of them.